Harietta, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and I'm back today with a special edition of my Brenda Gervais, also known as With Thy Needle and Thread WIP Parade. I'm so excited to share this with you today. These are all of the WIPs that I could find. I feel like there's one or two that might be hiding, and if I uncover them, I'll share them on another video. But these are the WIPs that I have found, and I have 21 WIPs from With Thy Needle and Thread. And by no means am I thinking I'm going to be getting them all done. However, I would like to get some of them done over the course of this year. If you have been following me, you know, and if you're new, welcome. And I'll share a little bit about why I'm doing just Brenda Gervais WIPs or showing those to you. I have chosen this year as 2024 a year with Thy Needle and Thread, and my 24 and 24 plan, so I'm starting 24 new projects in the year 2024, are all Brenda Gervais projects. And I have a separate video where I share all of those. And if you would like to check that out, I will make sure to link that below, but you can go find that on my channel as well. I love Brenda Gervais, and on a whim, I was going to do 24 and 24, and I just came up with, I saw somebody, Elizabeth Ann can Stitch. She was showing Brenda Gervais WIPs, and I thought, I have a ton of her patterns. I have lots of her WIPs. Wouldn't that be fun just to focus on one designer for the whole year? So I am, as if you see in other videos, I am sharing, or I am stitching on other designers' WIPs that I already have going, but I'm trying really hard, which I've stuck so far. It's only February 2nd, to just starting Brenda Gervais. I do have a few exceptions, which again I talk about in my other video. I also, at the end of this month, am going to be going to a retreat with Emily Call, where I plan on at the least starting her retreat piece and maybe a few more of hers or another designer, a new start just to break it up. But so far, I'm loving stitching on what I have picked, and it's been really fun. So I'm super excited to share this with you. I am going to switch to the top-down camera to share the projects with you, and I have written down what all of the fabric is that I'm stitching on. For the most part, am using all the called for floss. I don't have that out here because I didn't bring every project bag. I ironed all of the projects and they're all laying flat. So if there is a project that you are wondering, did I use the called for or not, you can go ahead and send me a message and I'm happy to let you know if the floss is different. But like I said, most of the Brenda Gervais is called for, and as we go along, I should be able to tell you if I changed something. So I'm going to switch over to the other camera and get started. All right, so for today, our first project, my first WIP, is Tree of Life Sampler. And this is an antique reproduction, as you can see, that Brenda did. So pretty. And it does have some purple. I'm not a big purple person, but I just absolutely love this pattern. I am stitching this pattern on 36 count espresso by R&R, and this is where I have gotten. So I have the house, and then I went up here and started on this tree. So this is the bottom pretty much. There's a little border, and I have some more on the side, but this would be a pretty quick stitch to pick up and get it finished. And this is the antique, which is so pretty. And then let me look. The stitch count is 89 by 118. So it's not that big, like I said, although it does use a ton of floss. And I am pretty positive I bought the called for floss for this because I really liked the colors on the front and I wanted to stick true to the pattern. And she used 32 count beige. So I felt like this 36 espresso by R&R was pretty close in color. So that is my first WIP. My second WIP, and let me figure out, here we go. I have to put them somewhere so that everything doesn't go, oops, crashing down. So my second WIP is the Maker and Mender. And this one I know I started in January of 2023, and it was a stitch along with some friends that I met at the Jingle Ball. And we were all starting this together. This is one that I did change colors, and I am happy to share the colors I have used so far on this with you if you want to message me about them. But I am changing a few as I go. This is on 36 count, and this is a fox and rabbit linen, but I'm not sure which color it is exactly. So, it's either paper bark, which is my best guess, or it is the Mayflower linen that they have. So, but I wanted a lighter linen, and then I brightened up some of the colors. I believe this is DMC 926, which is my favorite DMC blue. So that is, again, the Maker and Mender. And again, if I just picked the WIP up and worked on it, I could get it done. And you'll see my very last WIP, which is almost done, is much larger than this. And I will be finished tonight after this afternoon or tonight, I will get it finished. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to get this done. My next WIP is Winter Rose Manor. And I already finished, and it's at the Framer Light of Winter, which Brenda shares on her Instagram, a video or a picture of Winter Rose Manor next to Light of Winter, and she talks about how they are supposed to be companions and that it's like the houses are down the street from each other. So I really would like to get this stitched at some point. I don't know if this is going to be something I work on this year. I might pick it up for a little bit, but unless I get really motivated, I don't know if this will be a finish this year, but we'll see. I mean, anything can really happen. So this is how it is. And I am stitching this on 36 count Milk and Honey. And the called for fabric, I believe, is, let me see. It is 36 count Brenda's Brew. And I now have Brenda's Brew, but at the time when I started this, I didn't have any. So I chose Milk and Honey, and I think it looks great. So again, I would like to get this done at some point to go with my Light of Winter, but for right now, this one isn't really calling to me. So, but it's so pretty. And so many people have finished that already. All right, this is my next project. And this is Manor at Peacock Hill. And it's funny because I have seen a few people in the past couple days, Julie from Reflections Framing, along with Cynthia from Cynthia Brews, both showed this on their video that they just posted. So I thought that was funny because I was thinking about pulling this one out next. This project is on 36 count Alabaster by XJU Designs. And I did convert the reds and the blues to silks with the help of Susan from Keepsakes. And I purchased this pattern along with the threads and the fabric, and they helped me pick the fabric as well at StitchCon this past year, so in 2023. And while I was at StitchCon, I got this little start. So I wasn't planning on doing a whole ton, but I did want to get it started at least at StitchCon. So that is a memory I have with this piece. And like many, many other stitchers, tying memories to your stitching is something that we do, and I think just as crafters, that's something that I feel like a lot of people do. So it's fun to think back when you pull the whips out also. What was I thinking? Why did I start the project? Where was I? All that. So this is another where it has a fond memory. This is Saltbox Quilt Sampler. Again, it's not that big. And I would like to get it done. And I just saw Linda from Stitchy Linda, and she's on a Flosstube with Chrissy, finally a farm girl. And she was sharing this, and I think she's going to work on this year. And I actually bought this at the first overnight retreat I went to, which was at Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida. I bought this, I kitted it. I have all the called for floss, and this is the called for linen. I'm pretty sure is Legacy. I don't have the other part, but I want to say Brenda stitched it on 40 count, and this is 36 count. So I don't think it will fit in a box like this, but I might try to do something similar. I do have it doesn't say sampler, but I have a card similar to this that I got from ordering a bag from Barry from Stitchbolt. And I would also like to get some vintage tomato pin cushions for another display I want to have kind of sitting behind me when I'm recording my videos. So, and this would most likely go in that display as well. So this is something, again, I probably will say it on all of them. I want to get them all done. That's what really motivated me to do this year with Brenda Gervais is these are really the pieces that I want in my house, on my wall. There are so many other designers too that I also love, and I want those, but I thought it would be fun to just focus on one designer for the whole year and see how much I can get accomplished. The next one is also, I didn't start this at StitchCon, but I did get this pattern, which is Summer at Cherry Hill. I received this pattern in a surprise me box. And a surprise me box is from Keepsakes, and Susan, the same person who helped me to kit up or pick the silks for Manor at Peacock, or Peacock at Manor Hill. I forget what it's called already. Manor at Peacock Hill. She helped me, or she created the surprise me box. So in the box came the fabric, the pattern, the floss, and it had some other things in it. And that was so much fun to get. I'm not sure if they're still offering that right now, but if you're interested in purchasing one or for someone else or buying one for yourself, you can definitely call Keepsakes in Cincinnati or check on their website. So what I ended up doing is she kitted it with a blue linen, and it was really pretty, but I am more of a neutral linen person. So I am using all of the colors that she picked, but I did change the linen to 36 count Coral Canyon by Color and Cotton, and I will use the other linen for something else. But I just didn't really want to have a large piece on a blue linen because that's just not, it doesn't fit my decor and that's not really me. I absolutely love the colors. I do love the original colors, but I had wrote on, you fill out some information, and I wrote on there that I love blue, which I do, and if you watch my channel, you know. So she changed it to some blues, and it's just so pretty. So another I'd like to get back to. And I started this shortly after StitchCon, so mid-year last year. This is a smaller piece. This is Blessed Bee by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this again, many of these you see lots of people stitching. This piece, I was motivated to start. I had started it a couple times and I just never really loved my colors. So I was motivated to restart this when I saw Liz, the Wandering Stitcher. She was working on it and I can't remember if she finished it or not. But I picked her brain for some of her colors. So my colors are similar to hers, which are honestly very similar to the picture, but it's not the exact same colors. And this is on 36 count Milk and Honey. And this is just like a little scrap. It's a small piece, so I didn't need that much, and I just pulled that out. So in the fall, I will more than likely pull this out and try to get it finished, which again, when you see the piece I'm getting finished today, you'll say, you can do all of these. This piece is called At Home by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This was a retreat piece from, I believe this was the retreat piece from the Dying to Stitch retreat in 2022. So then it was released to the public in 2023, if I'm remembering correctly. When I saw this piece at the retreat when they were showing it, I absolutely fell in love with it. It is giant. It has a giant house, but it is so, so pretty. I am stitching this on 36 count Tea Rose by Color and Cotton. And as you can see, I have the bones of the whole border. I then started filling in up here and the corner, and then I was trying to make my way to the basket so I could get to the house and I could start working on the house. I really like to, if I can, get the border bones finished. Then I like to make my way to something large to where I can, like I could work up here, I could work more on the border, I could work on the house. So I have options and I'm not stuck to, I haven't done anything or I have to do all of the pieces to get to the house. I do not want to leave the house till the end because then that will just feel like it takes forever. If I can work on some of the house along the way, it makes it more enjoyable, in my opinion. Everybody, I feel like, has their own way of doing where they move on patterns, but I wanted to get over to that house as soon as possible. All right, my next pattern is Noel Sampler. And honestly, I do not remember when I started this. I want to say I started it for Christmas in July or Mania or something in 2022, I think. But this, again, I absolutely love this. This whole chart is charted in DMC, which is very unlike Brenda. Normally, she has DMC mixed in with overdyed floss, but it's a beautiful, beautiful palette of colors. Some of my favorite colors she has. So this is on 32 count Winter White. And also what kind of gives me the hint that probably I started this in 2022 is that I was stitching it on 32 count because it's either the end of 2022 or beginning of 2023, I moved up to stitching on 36 count and I also stitch on 40 count sometimes, but mainly my sweet spot is 36 count. So if I was to start this today, I would most definitely be stitching it on 36 count. I do like it. The one thing that is a little bit tedious to me is having to use 2 threads. I will continue because obviously I've gotten this much done and I used 2 threads the whole time, so I don't really want to start over. So I'm kind of just gonna suck it up and and use the 2 threads. There's nothing wrong with using 2 threads. To me, it's easier to use 1 thread, which is why I prefer 36. Um, so all of that being said, this is something I have a lot more to do than I thought. But again, if I focused, I could get it done. So maybe July, Christmas in July, or I might pick it up as a 25th day stitch on the 25th of the month. I do have a whole other basket of Christmas whips. They're not Brenda Gervais, but just other whips that I've toyed around with picking out as a 25th day stitch. So we'll see how that goes. But again, this is just so pretty. And this is Winter White, which is by Seraphim Fabrics. And I really, really enjoy Seraphim. All right, this is a small that, again, if I just focused, I could get this done. This is Joy and Good Cheer, which I have the Home Sweet Home. I have, there's a fall one. Then I have the different seasonal ones. Most of them, I'm working on summer is in I have summer as a WIP, but it's in my basket of starts because I'm starting autumn. So I'll have to share that when I share my autumn things. But so I have lots of her little pillows either done or in the works. So this one will get done at some point because I for sure want to add this to my Christmas / winter decor. I feel like it can stay out through winter because of the snowmen. So this will, before next year, I will get this done for sure. And this is on 36 count. It looks like Patriots Brew. It could be Winter Brew also, which is by R&R Fabrics. And this is the called for colors. All right. This is Harietta Co. And I wrote on the back of my pattern that I started this in April of 2022 as a stitch along with Happy Little Stitch Shop. But I didn't really get very far, so I will need to pick this up. This is another series that I love. I have the Santa is almost done. There's another whip. I knew I had more, but it's almost done. It's in with the Christmas things that I was working on this year. But so I have the Santa. There's a witch, a pumpkin head person. The pumpkin head, not a witch. But there's a lot in this same design. I think this is so cute. I love the plaid skirt. This is on 36 count flax, which is just a Zweigart fabric, and I am using the called for colors. So I will get back to this when I get into some kind of Eastery type of stitching. All right, then a few Valentines, which I had every intention of getting these out. I might still pull them out this month, but I'm not sure. I kind of have another plan going, but if I get the urge to get a small finish, I might pull one of these 2 out. So the first one is from Love Notes, and it's this, Love You a Latte. I already have the Be Mine, which I adapted. I only did the words. I have the hearts, and I have the XOXO finished. I might do that in the future, but I haven't started it, but I have started the I Love You a Latte. And this is my large start. All I did was I started her dress. And this was a whip that I started last year during the 12 and 12. So for 1 hour, which I ended up, it wasn't really an hour I had to stitch on them. So I just got as much as I could done. This is 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I'm using all of the called for colors. The next one is Holiday Hoopla, Valentine's Day. And again, same deal. Started this as 12 by 12. It's 36 count vintage country mocha. I have a tiny start of her wing. So again, if I get the urge to work on some more Valentines, I could pull one of these two out. One night or two would probably get it done. Probably 2 nights. This is another one that I started during the 12 by 12 last year. This is Mr. Marshmallow. I had originally bought some green linen to stitch it on. And when I started looking at my winter things, this does not go at all with any of my stuff. So I thought, I'm going to be safe. I am going to stitch it, which would look perfectly fine. I'm going to just use 36 count vintage country mocha, and everything will show up on that. And I really again, same deal. It was a 12 by 12, so I have barely anything started, but you can see I started the cup and you can see it great. I also feel like white really shows up on vintage country mocha. So, and this potentially is B5200 by DMC, so that really will show up. And if it's not, I might use that just to make the snowman pop. But potentially like later in the year I might pick this up. But I don't know. I'm kind of out of the snowman feeling, so we'll see. All right, my next one, which this is number 16. This is Witch's Night Out. And I purchased this before I went to StitchCon. I brought it with me to kit up, and I wanted to start this while I was there. While I was there on Sunday, which was the last day, Stitchy Linda and Chrissy, finally a farm girl, they were starting, and I think Jen, Sweet Chaos Stitcher, they were starting a stitch along, which was hashtag Sunday with Thy Needle. And this was the piece I was going to work on with their stitch along. Really, the only thing that the qualification was that you needed to stitch on Sunday on a with thy needle and thread pattern. So this was the one I started while I was there. Again, best of intentions. I thought, oh, I can get this done quickly, which if I focused, I could. But again, something else. I think I started working on the Pumpkins Glow one, which I'll show in a minute. So then that got my attention. But this would be an easy one in the fall around Halloween to pick this up and get it done. So cute. This is on 36 count Weathered Stone by, I believe it's Atomic Ranch. I absolutely love this fabric so much, and I believe they are having a trunk show at the Beach Please retreat, which I'm going to at the end of the month, and I will be buying more of this fabric if it is there. It is so pretty. It is like a mottled, I don't know if you can see it better that way, creamy, like it's just so pretty. I love this fabric so much. So I'm excited to, like I said, get back to that at some point. But a lot of these fall ones I won't pull out again until it gets closer to fall, unless I have some urge to work on a fall piece, which could happen. This is a Witch in Her Garden, which was a sal that I started for Chrissy, finally a farm girl's birthday. Pretty sure everybody else who participated, they all finished theirs, and I am still on the Witch in the middle. So this is 36 count, I believe, vintage. Yep, 36 count vintage country mocha. This one, I got this as a kit from Michelle at Farm Girl Dry Goods, and she kits up a lot of Brenda's charts. A lot of times she kits up her smalls. So like all of the new releases Brenda has out right now that are getting mailed, Michelle has kitted. I don't know if she still has them available. She'll have the pattern, but I don't know if she has the kits available. But like when Michelle kitted this, she sent everything to finish it. The velveteen, the stem, the bottom, the fabric, the floss, everything. So, this is one, again, a few nights, it could be done. So another thing, which when you watch my regular Flosstube, you won't really, I'm not sticking to it as well as I would like to. I really want to try to not leave a whole bunch of smalls unfinished. If I start one for my 12 by 12, or sorry, 24 and 24, or I pick up one of these WIPs that's a small, I want to just work on it till it's done. Because realistically, I'm stitching 2 to 3 hours every night and 2 to 3 hours for 2 to 3 days. I can finish a small. Sometimes it might take 4, depending on how heavy the stitching is. So I really am trying to stick with a pattern for a couple days and see if I can just get it done. Otherwise, I have all of these WIPs that have like a little teeny thing stitched, and I want to have them in my house. And if I don't finish them, I can't hang them up or put them out. So that's where I'm at as far as my thinking. This is the one that ended up taking over on the Sundays with Thy Needle. This is When Pumpkins Glow. I also got this kitted from Farm Girl Dry Goods. The finishing board is from Chantel at 141, the panorama board, and I have that ready to go. So when I get finished, which I wanted to get it finished last year, but then I kind of lost momentum, because I got them done, which was a lot. Then I got the words over here, but then I needed, and you can see I have threads hanging. There's down at the bottom, this is a lot of individual stitches. So I need to do the whole bottom, all of this little fill-in, and then obviously the words over here and the birds. Finish those and I'll be done. So, I mean, it'll get done this year, but it was kind of like I was ready to switch and then I was ready to get into Christmas stitching. And so this just got put away, but it'll get done this year, which will be fine. And I'll have it up for display. But it's so pretty. This was another piece I started this year. Lollies, Crows, and Candy Corn. And this was previously a kit from Brenda's website. I do believe you can buy it at other shops now. I do have the tray and the pieces that go in it to display. And I am stitching this on the called for fabric, which is 36 count Patriots Brew. And I am using all of the called for colors. So again, small, I just have to get back to it and get moving to get it done. So I do definitely have a wide range of it goes this way. Some are seasonal, some are every day. So I do have different pieces I can pick from depending on the mood. If I want to stitch on a seasonal piece, I can always go pull something I have started. If it's in season, out of season, whatever. The next one is Manor at Quaker Hill. And I am stitching this on 36 count brown sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And I am using very similar colors, but I did convert it to silks. And this piece I will for sure be picking up in the next couple months. So when I do, I will share my conversion with you. I know that Carolyn from the attic, she was stitching. I don't know if she's done. She was stitching on this and she did a conversion that you can call the attic and get. I just kind of looked at the colors and I had Belle Soies. And so I used those, and then anything that I didn't have, I just took the pattern cover to my LNS and I like kind of compared and found silks to go with it. So I absolutely love this piece. It is rather big, but it's so pretty. And I love the pops of teal in here. It's not a lot, but it's so pretty. So that I know for sure I will be picking that up in the next couple months, and like in the next month or so, when I feel kind of in the springy mood. And one more, this is another same deal, small piece, just pick it up and get it done. So this is I Love Fall Most of All. And I am stitching this on 36 count mushroom, old mushroom by XU Designs. And I started in the middle so I could get here, and I was able to get up to some of the flowers. I did pick this up this fall as well, and I put in a little bit more stitching, but then other things kind of got in the way. So again, a couple nights and this could be done. So I am planning on having lots of finishes on from these WIPs. Not all of them by any means, because I do have new starts that I'm starting, and some of them I'm starting, and if I feel like I'm loving it, I'm just gonna keep stitching on it until it gets done. Or I might put a little in and then pick something else up. We'll see. I don't really have a plan as far as how many of those I'm starting each month. Technically, I could start 2 each month and then have 2 to start every single month since I have 24. But I might start more of them. And then, like, whenever Christmas comes or fall, I can pull more of my WIPs out because either I've finished some of my 24 and 24 pieces, or I started them and I didn't really want to work on them anymore. So we'll see. But it'll be interesting at the end of the year to see how much I finished, stitched on, accomplished, all that. And I will talk about this in just a sec. I am keeping track of all of it in my book of days, which I did have spiral bound. I have the clear plastic cover on the front. This is just a piece of scrapbook paper I glued, so you can see this is the inside. And I am keeping track of everything I'm working on. I need to go in and write down the first 2 days. I also have a stats card where I'm writing down my finishes, my starts, any other important information, so I can easily go back and check that. So I will have this whole book at the end of the year to let you know exactly how much I was able to accomplish focusing on Brenda Gervais, which even if nobody else cares, I am interested. This is my last WIP. I do, like I said, I think I have some others hiding. I will try to find them. I tried to search everywhere. These are what I could find. This was a WIP. I shared it last week on my other last week's Flosstube that I wanted to work on this until it was finished, and that is exactly what I've been doing. So this was the same retreat that At Home was released at. She released this. This was not an exclusive. It was an exclusive. You could only buy it at Dying to Stitch, but it wasn't the retreat piece, so anybody could buy this. And I had it kitted by Dying to Stitch, and I am almost done. I still need to finish filling in the flowers down on this border. I need to do all of the flowers and leaves over here. I need to finish the Smyrna crosses right there and the Smyrnas in here, and I am done. So today I will get this finished. I could not be more excited to get this done and get this to the framer and have this on display. This pot of flowers is so beautiful. It took me, I think it took 3 days to do this. So 3 nights of stitching, 2 to 3 hours. So it was a lot of stitching, and it was more like, because they're trying to get the effect that it's a flower, and you can tell once you stitch it, but you have to be really careful in your counting. So to me, that's what took the longest. But I love this piece, and like I said, I cannot wait to get this on my wall. So I am gung-ho to get this done. I really wanted to get it done before February started, but I worked and worked and worked, and I just couldn't get it done, which is fine. Today's February 2nd, and I am planning to get this done today. So that is all I have for you for my WIP parade. And I hope that you enjoyed all of the WIPs that I have. And like I said, I think I still have some more hiding. So I will have to go find those and share them on a Flosstube if I can find some of the other ones. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I hope that you have a great day. I hope this inspired you to pull out either your WIPs or if you have these as charts to get started. I hope that it inspires you to get started. So thank you guys so much, and be sure if you like this video to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave comments if you have questions or want to ask anything else. All right, talk to you later. Bye.